Hello, this is Frederik van Walle from Kappa Data. I will explain you how to configure machine and user certificate-based authentication on a Pulse Connect Secure. The first thing we need to do is import our root certificate from our CA, from our certificate authority. We will do that via system configuration and do that in the trusted client CAs. As you can see, I already did that before. Don't forget to add your private certificate in here too, not just the public. Next thing we need to do is create an authentication server. We select from the list certificate server, new server. We give it a name, whatever. Leave the rest default, no need to change this, and save changes. We're ready to create a realm. So we go to users, user realms, and click on new realm. We are going to create a machine certification realm. So you give it a name, I give it this name, and we select the certificate server for authentication that we just created. We click on save. Automatically, we will jump to the role mapping. We do a new role mapping based on the certificate. Any certificate is fine by me, so I do it like this. We will need to assign a role. Now, this is the default role that is in there. Be aware that if you select this role, I will go into this role, there is a tab VPN tunneling, then Pulse client settings, where by default it will be set like this. If you do this and you make a connection, the moment here at the right we have a connection, it will replace the settings by the default one. And that's what we don't want him to do. So please be aware that this is put onto none. Okay, we will now click or create a new sign-in policy. The sign-in policy is like the login page. So new URL. I will use /cert, but you can use whatever you want. And I will link my machine certificate realm and save changes. We are ready now to create a client connection. So we go to users, Pulse client connection. We create a new one. I call it machine authentication. And what I do is I click changes. Then I open it again, because this way I have the correct order of parameters I need to make. And then I click on this one. You don't need to do exactly what I'm doing, but at least if you follow these steps, it will work. In connection, we create a new connection. You need to put this on layer 3, very important. Give it a name too. Scroll down a bit, and this is one of the most important parts. This is the URL where we will connect. /cert, because I created cert to connect to. Here at the bottom, we have 3 possibilities. If we want to do machine-based authentication, we do just machine. But if we want to do machine-based authentication at boot time, once the user is logged on, we want to do user authentication, we do it like this. We click Save Changes. We are ready to now create or download the configuration to our computer. So we go to Components, we create a new component, we select to create it from machine authentication, and we download this configuration to our computer. In our computer, I have in my computer a map called Tools. I put it in there. And why do I have this? Because if you take a look at a script that's in there, you see that I use the jam command to import this configuration and then delete the configuration file. So at the right, immediately you see him connecting. it was created, and well, it's pretty normal that he can't connect. Don't be afraid for this. That is because I wrote a mistake. So we need to change this. We go to Pulse Client Connections, Machine Authentication. It's PCS1. Save changes. We go to Components and re-download it. Tools, import, looking better now. Oh, and it asked me for a realm. Well, I did this on purpose. The other thing I didn't do on purpose. We go to the sign-in policies. We open the policy. And we must make sure that there is no user interaction, because if you have user interaction at boot time, you can't click. We need to select here the user picks out of a list, but since there is only one, he won't ask for it. We click Save Changes and then we can try to connect again. But again, this will fail. Why? Because we are missing a certificate. We don't have yet any certificates. So here I have my certificate snap-ins. I went to Start Run MMC, add remove snap-ins, and added the certificate tabs, one for the local computer and one for the current user. Right-click all tasks, request new certificate. Next. Take the first one. You don't have the second one. You don't need that too. Enroll, finished. This is my computer certificate, and I will create a user certificate too. Next. Select user, enroll, finished. We have them too. Now we should be able to connect. Voila, I'm connected. I will go to another computer to show you the status. I will refresh it. So at this moment, it's refreshed. At this moment, I have a user certificate. I can see that Fred admin is my user. I have a user certificate as a connection to the Pulse Secure. Now, I will now reboot the computer. That will take a little while, not too long, but you have to wait until the services are loaded. Meanwhile, I will refresh this and see this disappearing. Voila, it's gone. We wait a bit, the computer is still restarting. Good thing about virtual computers is that it goes a bit faster than an ordinary computer. Now you still have to wait a bit. It's not because you have the home screen that he is already connected, because in the backend he needs to load the service, and the service is not the first thing that will be loaded at boot time, so we still have to wait a bit. But we are already there, as you see. It's already connected. So I can now log on onto the computer. I give the password. I go back to here, update, and see what happens. Still too soon, but we're not logged on yet. We have to wait until the user has the icon and the tray, and then the icon will try to make the connection. So we still have to wait a bit. And a bit more. Okay, we're in. Still waiting here for the icon. Not there yet, so this won't be good yet either. So the computer, still no icon. But the good thing is that if the machine authentication was done before the user was logged on, that we can do a user logon onto the domain, even if the user has never been on that computer before, because we can use cached credentials. That's always nice, but sometimes we can't use cached credentials. And in that case, because we never went on that computer, and in that case, you weren't able to log on onto the computer, and you won't be until you are connected. So this solves that problem. And by now we should have, voila, the user authentication. So this is it. This was how to create certificate authentication by machine certificates and user certificates on a Pulse Connect Secure. Thank you for watching.